Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, it says
Now,
preview.
There we
now
go.
we should. You guys see it now. Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, it
yeah.
was recording on my end, so they got that from me, but they should be able to at least see it on YouTube now. So, which is weird. It's never done that to me before. In any case, so
So
Hayden,
did they hear any of what we said?
I
Probably
not.
I think they did. They should have.
I didn't, but I did
did.
after we started sharing it.
That's unfortunate. Which is weird because it should, when I start on Streamlabs OBS, it should transfer over automatically to YouTube unless I have to push start on both of them. Anyway, so
Yeah, they missed all of that.
so in case you missed it, which you might have,
They definitely did.
which you probably did, I still have my hopes and dreams. So this is going to be a lot like the starter set for Call of Cthulhu. There's going to be enough differences to where it's more unique. Sky, I won't make you do introductions again because apparently it just started streaming. So,
I think
so
we can at least introduce our characters again.
yeah, okay, sure. If you guys want to introduce your characters, absolutely. And then after that, I'll just jump straight into the game.
I'm
We
Sky Noob.
have, I said, enough time.
Ooh,
Sorry,
I'm
go ahead.
Sky Noob. I'm playing Jeremiah Biggs, or Jay Biggs. And he is an aspiring journalist. But at the moment, he's making ends meet as a real estate photographer.
All right, sweet. Bryson, then Hayden.
Well, I'm playing Irvin Patterson, who is a 57-year-old architect. Quite accomplished for himself. You know, he's definitely not struggling at all. But yeah.
Sweet. All right, Hayden, just a brief description on your character.
I'm playing, let's make sure I don't get this name wrong, Howard Hudson, a hobo who is currently living on the streets, was in a war, not sure which war, we never really specified.
1920s, so
The war, I
the
think.
war, the Great War.
Big one.
Great War? Did
The
they already
first
have
one.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it ended in 1918.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is
True.
1922.
So we're in the interwar period.
Yes. So
Yeah, and he has a limp.
all right. Well, sweet. Thanks. Thanks again, guys, for describing your characters a second time. Okay,
I guess I did describe what he looked like, but
that's
We
fine.
can do that later.
We'll get
can
into
get
the
to that.
physical descriptions in a little bit later.
all right.
Sweet. Okay. So I think without further ado, let's just jump straight into the game. So it's July 10th, 1922. Despite the summer heat, these last few months have been abnormally wet. It rained just yesterday, once last week, and twice before that. The humidity causes a near immediate sweat as one steps outside, putting the citizens of Lochholt, Massachusetts in sour moods when they saw clouds gathering in the morning sky. Nevertheless, life remains just as busy as ever, if so cautiously, as people can be seen carrying around umbrellas tucked under their arms. They hurry to attend to schools, jobs, perhaps off to visit family or friends near or far. It is a big world after all. Whereas the world keeps turning, and with everyday life, it is easy to forget the small things, the unnatural things. And more often than not, the unnatural has ways of making itself remembered. Our story begins on a humid, cloudy day. Three seemingly ordinary individuals arrive outside a colorful exterior of a building. Above the double glass doors is an outstretched, hanging sign reading the Charleston Cafe. And though they didn't know it yet, fate in the form of letters was about to change their lives forever. So, we begin right after session 0. You three all receiving your letters. It is now 11:25. around the same time, 11:30ish is when Mr. Knott requested you all to meet at the Charleston Cafe. Assuming you want to be late or early, depends on when you guys want to be there. But either way, at your own at differing intervals, you all sort of meet up at the entrance of this place. You can describe your characters how you want, do some introductions, and we start.
So we all meet at the same place.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Yeah. We'll say at the same time.
roughly.
Well, is there a map, or are we just?
You're all there. You see each other. You see each other coming, and you're wondering what brought you all here at the same exact time, at the same exact moment.
it's the. It is the building that we're. Is it? Wait. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. Words.
Let's go in here.
Here we go. Whoa.
So that was Sky's
Yeah,
character.
just
Feel free to
one
drop
other.
your tokens where you'd like.
Well, think
So-
I'd go.
Oh, I'm big. Why am I so big?
Sorry, I made your token to fit just a little bit bigger so people can see exactly what your character looks like. But I guess it doesn't matter for the realm of the game. So you're here now, and you're at the entrance. I assume you all walk in. I mean, obviously. So make any introductions. You can feel free to describe what your character physically looks like.
Well, my character is, he's 57. He's kind of. He's really short. I rolled really badly on this on this height roll.
There were
So
some
he
really
ended up
unfortunate
being really
rolls.
short, but a rather average build. Kind of a thin guy, wears a pinstripe suit and a hat often, along with glasses, and he's got a longish gray hair and beard that's very well trimmed, and he carries himself in a rather professional way.
All right. I guess Hayden, you did most of your physical description, I think, in the start. But anything you want to add or change? I think you have yourself muted.
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
I cannot. That is very strange.
It's kind of weird.
That's odd. I can't hear you.
Whoa.
Great stream, guys.
I'm gonna see if the stream
How
can
about
hear
now?
him.
All right, I can hear you now.
Yeah, because I just unmuted the.
There we
roll
go.
20.
All right, sweet. All right. So feel free to describe your character.
Oh, he's a pretty typical hobo-looking guy.
Okay.
5 o'clock shadow, flat cap, kind of tattered clothes.
All right.
Average build.
All right, sweet. Do we get all our introductions out of the way? Sky, I
I can
think-
describe myself physically.
Right, yeah.
So, Jeremiah he's actually has a stronger build. He wears big bottle cap glasses. Is that what those are called?
I think so, yeah. The big owl lens
Coke
ones.
bottle
Yeah.
Glasses.
Coke bottle glasses, yeah. But he's over 6 foot. He has a pretty strong build, but he carries himself not like a big framed individual. And he just kind of at his side has a camera, and on his other side he's holding a notebook. But he has a hard time making eye contact as he walks in. But he has about same 5 o'clock shadow, wears a cap and a big overcoat.
All right, sweet. And remind me again, what was your manager's name? The person above you?
His name is.
We got people counting on you.
I know, I'm scrolling up on our Discord conversation.
Oh no.
You gotta keep
Um,
like a notes document or something.
I know.
Did you keep a notes document, Bryson?
I do. I have one.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I definitely have a notes
'Cause I
document.
cannot depend on myself to remember anything.
I mean, who doesn't have a notes document? Notes documents are
Okay,
integral parts.
don't call me out like that. Okay.
No, this
Hmm,
Ray, are you? What is it?
okay, it came before this.
Over-
we can say his name is Mr. Jones or something.
That's not his name. That's lame. That's a lame
Okay.
name.
Uh,
Oh boy. Oh my. We talk a lot, don't we?
yeah, we did.
The
Uh,
silence is deafening.
oh, no, wait. Mr. Davis?
Mr. Davis, I think that's it. Okay.
It's
Wait.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it wasn't his name before, it is now.
It is now. All right, sweet. So, it's now 11:30 as you all enter into this warm environment. So, inside this area, uh, it's a lively place. Probably one of the for you locals is probably the safest place in Lochholt, given that it's right across the street from the police department. In fact, there's a pair of officers at the counter who are currently ordering something, and there's a couple people sitting at the booths just enjoying some brunch, some breakfast. Currently playing is Way Down Yonder in New Orleans, playing out on the speakers. It's a fun song, and you see some toes tap into it. So, is there any place you want to go right now? Sit down.
What's the rarity of the item?
I've already moved
In
my
anything?
character just to sit down in this
Sure.
cold area here.
All right. As
That's
you. All right. Sorry, it's not exact, but if you hit Alt, or at least if I do, you can hit Alt and then
Yeah.
scoot your character onto something specific. So, through the doors.
I'll actually probably sit at this corner booth.
Through the doors, you notice a man step through. There we go. Should be able to see him now.
Whoa.
Mr. Knott is absolutely ginormous. Let's make him smaller to fit into one of these squares. Okay. So, you see a kind of pompous man wearing a three-piece suit. It's sweaty outside, and you see the collar of his shirt is like dampened with sweat. And in one arm, he's carrying a. Bryson, you recognize this as Mr. Knott, one of your friends you've worked not closely with recently, but you know of him and you've worked with him in the past. Sky, you have never met him. You've never met him personally, but you've seen him occasionally when your manager speaks with him, and then Hayden, your past experiences, you know him well, but he looks a little bit more pungent, more well-to-do.
What's his rank?
So he strides into the. He wipes off his sweat with a brow as he steps in, trying to shuffle everything in his arms, and you hear him mumble under his breath. Jeremiah, as he steps past you. Oh, this wretched heat. Certainly didn't feel this sticky in Maryland. He sits down right across from you. Over here, and as he looks around, let's have him face you a little bit more. As he turns and faces you, he looks around and sets down his suitcases and places them on his table. He looks around. Where's everyone else? I sent out letter, and then he looks past and then sees Mr. Patterson and Mr. Hudson across the room, and then he waves you guys over to him.
I do that like, since I barely recognize him, I do that like kind of like halfway thing with somebody. but then I get up and I walk over to him.
Oh, fantastic! So glad you're all here. He He wipes off his sweat again, and he looks at you all. Have any of you eaten yet? I'm willing to pay, though it might come out of your paycheck. This entire row is just full of like suitcases and things.
Oh, that's very generous of you. I actually haven't eaten yet.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Waitress, oh, so good to see you again, my friend. He leans over and shakes or offers his hand. You notice it's kind of glistening with sweat.
I'll shake it firmly.
Okay. He looks you in the eye with a big old smile and then shakes your hand. He looks across the table at Mr. Hudson, and his smile sort of falters a little bit. I'm. When I heard you were coming upon hard times, I didn't realize you were. Good to see you again, Mr. Hudson.
See you too.
Ah.
A bit of shell shock.
Oh,
Hard-
that
hard
shell
to hang
shock,
your
you
jaw.
know. I've tried to. You haven't heard from the others, have you, in our group?
I haven't heard from just about anyone.
Well, Grayson apparently got hit by a train, so the others are, well, equally as difficult to track down. When I heard you were here in Lochholt and local, man, I jumped at the opportunity. I figured hearing you fall upon hard times, I could at least extend a hand and, for old time's sake, give you somewhat of a job. If you're all willing to take it, which is actually why I'm here. Forgive me for sending the letters. I couldn't be here in person. I was up there on a business trip in Baltimore. So, and as he's speaking, he's interrupted by a tall waitress with fluffy brunette hair, wearing a tight cafe waitress outfit. She comes over with a notepad. Is there anything I can get you all? Any food?
Yes, how about some pancakes and a coffee, please?
Pancakes and coffee. And for her eyebrows furrow as she looks at you, Howard. Oh, anything for you, sir?
Coffee.
Coffee. And how would you like it?
You didn't ask
Dark?
me how I want it.
Yeah, you can ask him.
To be fair, you didn't specify. She was feeling sorry.
Hmm.
And she looks at Mr. Knott like, yes, I'd like a turkey and olive sandwich, please, and some water. And she, okay. She looks at you, Jeremiah.
I'll have a turkey club sandwich with a side of fries.
Right. Well, that should be out in just a moment. And she smiles, turns around on her heel, and heads back to this door, which cuts off the map because I didn't want to have to make it. So, the four of you sit in general silence with music going on in the background, general just silent conversation happening a few tables away. It's going to be happening a lot this session. I need to drink water. So, Mr. Knott.
None of our characters really know each other, so we're just kind of like looking
So-
at each other.
Oh, so, and as he's about to make introductions, he looks at you, Jeremiah, and Jeremiah, wasn't your boss, scroll up, Mr. Davis, supposed to be here? I sent him the letter formally.
He was, but he wasn't able to make it, so he sent me in his bath. I hope that's all right.
I'll be speaking to him on this, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. The job I have is relatively simple, and you're here, so might as well fill his shoes. If you're willing, at least. I don't want to rain on your parade.
I'm willing.
Okay. Excellent. Well, everyone, this, I suppose I should make introductions. Everyone, this is Jeremiah Biggs. He works under one of my property managers who keeps general upkeep. I believe Mr. Patterson here has met him once or twice in passing, but Mr. Patterson and I are good friends. He's an architect who helps with renovations and general maintenance upkeep on some of the houses that I rent out to people and own. So, His expertise in this matter will be, well, I shouldn't need to speak on his behalf. His reputation precedes him, what I'm trying to say. And everyone, this is Howard Hudson. He and I were good old war buddies down there in the wet, mucky trenches. Ah, good buddies, yes. So,
Straight up in existence.
he does as well. Anyway, so about this job, I assume you all have questions, so please ask away. While I wait for my food, I'm so very hungry.
So we're going to be looking at a property?
Yes, straight to the point. Yes, I need you all to check out a property that I recently bought. There's unfortunately quite a number of rumors about the place. The previous tenants couldn't get anyone to buy it, and I need a few individuals, such as yourselves, to check it out and put an end to these rumors and just put them all to bed. It doesn't do any good for my reputation or the home's if I'm ever going to sell it. That, and I need you all to look for any type of structural damage. Let me know if there's any repairs that I need to amend. The sooner I can get it fixed, the sooner I can start making my money back. It is an old house, which is why I brought Mr. Patterson along.
I
I'm
can.
always happy to help out.
Always happy to have you here.
So what are these rumors?
I honestly don't know much about the place, other than it's old and it's one of the few private properties in Lochholt. I moved here from Maryland a couple of years ago. That's when my business really started. They called it the Old Corbett Place. Folks don't go near the property, and understandably so. They say it's haunted. Although I personally think it's because of the old lady that comes by the house every few months. I'm not superstitious by any means, and which is why some people might call me crazy for buying it.
Old lady.
I believe she's some superstitious old coot. Though the way she checks in on the house, it could have been the Macario's housekeeper. I have to imagine that someone around this humid town ought to know her, or know enough about her to know where she lives.
Right.
Guess we could ask around. Or just look at the house.
I'm certainly not the superstitious sort. An old house like this is bound to make all kinds of creaking noises at night, so I'm sure that
Indeed.
rumors are nothing but.
Exactly.
Things aren't always what they seem.
What was that?
What?
Well, I personally think that you all should just head straight to the house, but it might do you some good to look up the house's old history. And Mr. Biggs, I know you're, forgive me for saying amateur, but investigator of your type would be interested in a story such as this. Perhaps you could cook up some story or look at some history on the place. It would do you some good, probably.
With all due respect, I aspire to be a journalist of truth,
Of course,
not superstition.
Well, who knows? This is more the rumor's sake. I personally don't really care much about ghosts or ghouls or anything of the sort. I just care about getting back what I invested. So, any other questions?
How much are we getting paid?
Compensation. So I'm asking you to do a relatively simple job, but no less important. I'm willing to give each of you $20 as a down payment. I'll consider the amount of time you take and the amount of progress you make into account in a bonus you'll receive at the end of the job. Does this sound fair enough for you all?
Sounds fair enough to me.
Fantastic. Hudson, Biggs, you both fine with this?
That
Yes.
sounds fair.
Fantastic. He gives a happy smile, and as he's about to say something else, the waitress comes over, each with your individual plates, balanced on like a platter that she's like tiptoeing over, and it's like teetering side to side. She sets down your coffee, she sets down your pancakes. It does have like a square of butter and like a couple of those syrup packets on the side. I don't. Did you ask for any drinks at all? It was just
Coffee.
coffee. Sets down Mr. Davis's sandwich and water, and she sets down your food as well. Biggs.
What was the food? Do you remember?
I don't remember at all.
Pop quiz.
Turkey club
I
with
think
a side
sandwich.
of fries.
There we go. No, turkey. Yeah, there we go. It was a sandwich as well, but I couldn't remember which one. Okay. I'm glad you. You remember. This is important lore that we need to get out onto the table.
What did they eat at the diner?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of
It's,
stuff.
it's going to be
breakfast and lunchtime, brunch.
it's gonna be part of our trivia that we do in our intermissions.
Exactly.
What did Jeremiah order the first time he was in the diner?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so she stands there after she tucks the platter underneath one arm. Is everything okay? Is there anything else you need?
Well, that'll be all for me. I don't know about the others here.
Mr. Not Nodge, thank you very much. And he tucks in like a napkin into his collar. If there's anything we need, I'll let you know. And he smiles, and she nods, spins on her heel again, and then goes to serve someone else. So, and he looks at the clock. Oh dear, I don't have much time, so I have to be at my office here in a couple minutes. So, any last questions you want to? And he begins to eat. Any last questions you want to ask me before we go? I won't have much time.
Well, we just need some basic directions is all, and maybe a way
Alright.
to contact you.
Oh yes. Albeit both the house and the office building are actually located right next to each other. You'll find it just down the street at the far end of Lochholt, more towards the west of town. I'm just ask the front clerk at the right wing tower. You should be able to see me. She will let you know which office room I'm in. I'll be here for about a week before I head back to Boston on a trip. So, the address specifically is 1207 West Broadbook. Probably should be easier on streetwise to ask around. And those of you who are locals here know of what he speaks. Far west of town, there's two like big, huge office towers where a lot of the bigwigs go to just do is. Jeremiah, you know the place well. You've worked there a couple times. There's like this big, huge front clerk area where there's like also an elevator that takes you up to different stories. So his office is really nice and big. So that's cool. So, any other questions? Unless you wish to get straight to it.
Well, yeah, no sense in dilly-dallying.
Of course.
I would like to thank you for the food, of course.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, I shouldn't speak with a mouthful. Oh, yes, my pleasure. It's always good to see old friends and acquaintances. He looks at you, Jeremiah. And he looks at the clock again and, like, sets down his sandwich. Oh, so late, I'm almost late. He shuffles around and grabs his suitcases, tucks under his arm a whole bunch of large papers. Some papers begin to spill out of his suitcases, and he tries to pick them up. He's an absolute mess, but he looks in a hurry. So he stands up. Look, I'm sorry I couldn't answer any more questions. If you need me, you know where to find me. I personally suggest that you head straight to the house. It might be the quickest way to end this whole thing. But there could be something to the house's history that might help you out. My suggestion would be to head down to the Lochholt papers. They have lots of stories. It might be something on the old tenants, or you could try the Central Library. History is their strong suit. Or possibly the Hall of Records, if you're really desperate. I'm sorry, He takes out this large rusty key and hands it to you, Jeremiah. Here's the gate key. Now I really have to go. He shuffles out of the building and hurriedly makes his way out into the street with his suitcases. The doors loudly swing open, and you hear a bell ding as he leaves. So,
Well, it was a pleasure to see you again, but I do think we should get going along.
All right.
Yes.
Do we want to conduct some research before we?
Yes. I always hit the library first, but unless you guys had a different
Well,
suggestion.
how are we going to be able to find something about the library? Well, from the library. It's not like they'll have books on this specific house.
Well,
I mean, most libraries hold
records of
news
sales.
reports.
They would have old newspapers, but if we don't have a date or an event, we can't really find anything.
I'm sure it's worth looking into regardless.
We could perhaps look for blueprints. Usually you have to submit those to City Hall.
That might be a better idea. We could go there first.
So, let me change scenes. I should be able to see the map now. It's a smallish town, but there's enough homes and houses and businesses here to make it more lively. It's 5 miles out from Boston, so it's a bit of a drive. Well, it's a short drive, bit of a walk, really.
At
And
the house position between the two towers.
yep. And far off north, several miles that away, is where a sanitarium is located. It's closer to Boston than it is Lochholt, but there is a road to it. So, the world is your oyster. Where would you like to go?
Well, we were gonna go to the courthouse, right?
It's here, courthouse or City
s-
Hall, whichever
City
one
Hall.
they put.
Wherever they
blueprints
put records
for
of these
both.
sorts of things.
All right. So, sounds like you are going to the general courts, which would be this a place, my little red bop. So as you, and feel free to place your minis down wherever you guys are in case you do decide to split up. Also, this was a mechanic I was planning on doing, but if you drag the, if you go to the ruler, every square is measured in minutes. It does take you some time to go from place to place.
Yeah.
So there is like a very minor time thing going on. So if you take hours and then half a day's researching, things may or may not happen. So like daily events sort of thing. So
Where
keep
was
that
the
in mind.
cafe on this
Yeah,
map?
where's the diner?
Cafe is right here at the very top.
How do I drag myself out of here?
How do I drink myself?
Click on your character and then hit Alt. You should be able to shrink. Bleep. There. Unfortunately, you'll snap to the actual edge of whatever square it is. So if you hold
did it.
Alt, you can drag yourself wherever you want to be.
Oh,
And you figured it out, Sky. Woo! Everyone
All
is
right.
on the board that needs to be.
Sorry, how was that you changed?
So click your token and press and hold Alt, and then drag the corners of your thing, and then you'll be able to drag it out. Unfortunately, your token will snap to the edge of each square. So if you hold Alt and then drag it, you'll just be able to set yourself wherever you want to be.
The
So
diner. And the general courts are where?
general courts are right here, and this is also the police station right across from the police station. Everything's more generalized to, like, if you see a house that doesn't look at all how it's described, just use the theater of the mind to imagine it. So
Okay, I have not been able to figure out how to shrink my character.
yeah, I'll get you down to size.
I didn't either.
You're just a giant roaming around Lochholt. Boom. All right. So the police station and the courthouse are conjoined in one large building. The courthouse is typical squarish design. Steps lead up to its door with large columns flanking on both sides. Large dome roof. The police station's basic square building with a rounded entrance that has a less exciting exterior than the court counterpart. So, before you enter, what's what's your purpose in entering here? You're looking for what exactly?
Well, we were looking
Blueprint.
just for records detailing, maybe like sale when it was built.
Okay.
Blueprints would be nice.
Any like notable events around it.
Okay. I'd ask you guys to, or whoever's helming this version or this length of the investigation, to make a law roll, which might be our first roll of the game.
I feel like I would be best suited.
I'm
for that.
okay at law,
The
but
architect
not
probably
amazing.
knows about
Now, how
building
do I
history
do
stuff.
make that law roll?
It's right here.
Yeah. Go to you'll see your dice on the column here, and then click D100, and then compare what result you get with your law
Or
skill.
if you're in your character sheet,
Or
you can
that.
click on your specific skills.
Yes.
And I think there's a way to make it. Okay,
I'm in
edit
my
mode is off.
skills right now. And,
So it's under languages.
Yeah, I have law. I can just click that,
Yeah,
What's your law?
or I highlight it and then I roll.
I think you just click it. Click it and see what happens.
Well, it just fills in the circle. Here.
Oh, so you don't click the circle, you click the actual word. See, that's me rolling law on accident.
I cannot roll.
Oh,
by doing.
it might have edit mode on, so make sure
Oh.
edit mode is turned off.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, I rolled better than
So
you did.
I made a roll. Ooh. Should have put one
Well,
in law. Oh,
I'm
well.
just as good at law as Irvin is. Good to know.
My laws.
I'm an aspiring journalist. What can I say?
All right, that's failures from all of us.
All right, so
All of our accidental rolling can all fail.
so you don't really have any context set up here. So as you enter inside, there's like a large open area with like a large desk in front. There's a woman behind it tacking away at a typewriter. Ching, and she looks up at you all, leans over her desk. Is there something I can do for you all?
Yes, we're just inquiring about an old place on 1207 West Broadboat.
Oh, 1207, that would be the large office building. Oh, you're inquiring about the Corbett house.
Well, yes, of course. That one.
You're familiar?
Everyone's familiar. Down the street. But what do you want to know about it?
Well, we have someone that has recently bought the property, and we're just looking into the history of it.
Are there any records or whatnot? that we
Yes.
could- yeah.
Surely there must be something.
Let's see. She. What's up? What'd you say? Tell me.
Yes, the hobo.
Yeah, and she, as you notice, she's flipping through papers. Her eyes occasionally flit upwards towards. She sees Irvin, who's more like well-to-do, and then immediately next to him is the hobo, dirty hobo.
The contrast.
I'm sorry. The general courts and the police station nearby mostly handles legal matters. I think the place you're looking for is the Hall of Records, which is right next door to the police station. That's any helps?
There's no legal matters that have occurred at this house.
Not that I can see.
That is peculiar.
That's good to know.
It is good to know.
Well, I
At
say
least-
we head there at once.
At least if it was, it might be also considering something else. I'm sorry, there's not much I can help you with.
Well, thank you for your time.
You all have a fine day.
You as well.
So, The Hall of Records would be right here. So, the Lochholt Hall of Records, located right next to the courthouse, is an old-style appearance with long steps leading to the door, four cobbled pillars supporting an outstretched portion of the building. The place certainly looks busy, considering a number of people leaving to and from the double doors to the entrance. As you walk in through the doors, it certainly feels a lot cooler inside. Immediately ahead of you is a desk, not unlike in a similar fashion to how the courthouse was. It has a desk that sits beside a huge wooden door that stands behind the desk to the left, and carpeted stairs that rises to the right. So, wooden door and then a carpeted stairs. So it's like on the side. And the clerk, who I'm pulling up the information now, the clerk is a thin, older woman with a slim suit on. Her hair is pulled back into a tight bun and wears gilded-rimmed glasses attached to a chain to her coat. And she doesn't really look at you or really acknowledge you all as you enter. She seems to be writing something frivolously? Very quickly on like a piece of paper. Frantically. Well, with purpose.
I think it's I don't think frivolous is right.
Feverishly. Right?
Well,
Fast.
not like more like with purpose, but like very quick. I don't know what the word is to describe it. Fastly. Okay, I like it. Okay, so she's writing and she hasn't looked up to acknowledge you all yet.
Hello.
We were looking for information.
Everyone who comes to the Hall of Records assumes they're looking for some kind of information. You're going to have to be more specific, sir. I am currently in the middle of something.
It's about a house at 1207 West. Did you say Broadbrook?
Yeah, Broadbrook.
Broadbrook.
Yeah, with an R. Broadbrook.
Broadbrook.
We don't want to take too much of your time. If you could point us in the right direction.
And she looks up at you all. She scowls as she sees the hobo, lightens up a little at the more well-to-do man, and then sees Jeremiah. And so she looks at you all. Oh, you're inquiring about that old house, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, to gain access to our archives, I'm afraid you're going to need to form a request by the Central Police Station and pay a $10 ticket. Not anyone can just waltz in and access our records. It's the records of this entire town.
Well, it's not the entire town. just
Surely you
one house.
knew.
Well, the owner of the house is looking for the records.
Yeah.
Then let the owner come here and pay a fine with a formal request.
Could I show her the letter from?
Sure, if you'd like.
Well, it says right here from the new owner of the house that we have his permission to seek out his records.
Are we not allowed to look through records?
Well, you know.
What are they?
Is information not free?
Information can be accessed at any time of the day with legal allowance. These are important records, and my time is important. I can't just let anyone waltz in here and do what they like.
Well, you seem to know about the house when we mentioned the address.
Everyone knows about the house, young man.
I'm 30.
Right.
Well,
Look,
what if
She looks around. Look, it's a busy day, but if something was... She looks around a little bit. If something was given, perhaps, I'll be more lenient to let you access some of our records.
I look
perhaps-
towards the richer people.
I'll give her a penny. Kind of
No,
kind of
I
rudely.
could do that. I'm a hobo.
I
Just
know
like
you're saying we're rich.
It takes 2 pennies for. No, wait, it's more than that. It's like 5 pennies for a Coke.
look. I'm just saving all of us a little bit of time.
Okay.
Bribery.
Give.
Exactly.
Are you a Scrooge?
No reason
Okay.
not to let us have this record. We're gonna
Give
go
her
over to
$1.
the court, to the police station,
Let me look at the.
and have to
Conversion rate.
Give me a.
talk to them, and then
Give me a persuade roll.
yeah, I'll do that.
Sweet.
Figuring out
What's
where
the
everything
highest
is.
persuade?
Ah, come on.
Oh, you have
Where where is that? Honestly, I don't even know.
Persuades. It's on
Oh,
top.
there it is. There it is.
Man, you
Oh,
have a
boy.
70. In...
I know. Put so much into it.
So, however, so remember, you have your luck, and so I'm using this optional rule for Call of Cthulhu where you have your luck stat, and you also can spend your luck. Like it's a 1-for-1 value, so you reduce your luck by a certain amount, which you can reduce whatever roll that you did, your roll result by that same amount. So if you take 15 points off of your luck, then your 97 becomes
Yeah.
an 82.
It's not
Or
worth
72,
it,
I mean.
because they do have
I will-
money to pay for the.
I'm not a mathematician, okay?
Yeah, that's
You
almost
need
30 luck.
27.
A lot more than 15 or whatever I said.
Yeah, it'd be 27.
I'm just for example, if you want to.
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
Not right now, but
okay. Or for future reference, you can push your roll. You can push a little bit harder, but the consequences, should you fail, are a little bit more severe. Like she takes that as an insult, she has you thrown out by a guard or something, but you can re-roll if you'd like. And if it succeeds, then it succeeds.
Can you use luck on the?
No, you can't.
reroll?
No, not on the push roll. So it's all or nothing. Or luck and or nothing.
I mean, what are the odds?
30%.
But not worth it.
it's not like we're not going to get
Just
the
bribe her.
information.
not
We
be
just have to
dumb.
go to the police station.
Bryson, didn't you have like thousands of dollars? You bought a
do.
house.
He's
Could
by
I give her
far
more
the
money?
most, he's by far the most financially apt of all of
Yeah.
us.
You
I
can
get
if you'd
$2
like.
a day.
All right, I'll
If,
push over another like dollar.
I don't actually know how much money I get a day. I didn't check. I didn't get that far in the rules.
$1?
Yes.
She looks at the dollar, and her fingers go like this, just a little bit more. You feel like
That's equal
I'll
to
put on another
$14.84.
dollar.
how much?
So it's about
Ano-
$15.
Well,
In
how much
today's
is
money? It's $1.
how much
So
is
that's how
Bryson
annual.
upping the
Well, I
ante?
put another dollar on top of the one I had, so now there's $2.
So it's about if you gave someone $30 today.
Yes.
Okay. She looks around and give me a luck roll.
What's your luck?
I should have pretty good luck actually. Let me check on that.
Yeah, I think luck was one of your higher stats.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the higher stats.
Okay, so do I just
Ooh.
click?
Hey,
on
man,
the
look.
luck here. Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're better luck than me.
Five.
I thought I had
Finally, a successful roll.
I wish I had an 85 on anything.
Dang, nice.
I don't
Okay.
That
know.
was like my best one, I think.
Luck's my best one too, but it's not that good. Not that good.
All
My
right.
size is better than yours though. So there's
She-
that.
Tied.
She looks up at you and you seem like a reasonable fellow. Okay. Earl! And she calls over, and there's like an officer standing by the large double-sided wooden doors that protect the entrance of like the hall, the actual records where they keep it. Both doors are currently open with some people coming in and out of it. An officer like pokes his head out. Yes, ma'am. Allow these 3 in. Keep an eye on that one. And she points at Hudson. But other than that, they have their legal allowance and they should be allowed to roam within reason. And he nods. All right. He leans his head back out. Have a good time. If you have any questions, just ask.
Thank you. I'll kind of mutter to myself as I'm walking away from her. These types, they're all the same.
Those
Alrighty.
corrupt public
Public
servants.
servants.
Public servants, don't you have like thousands of dollars, like hundreds at your disposal? These
What
stingy
to say?
people.
Well, you don't get that kind of money by just giving it away. Anyways, what do I have? I think in possessions I have like $50 spending level and 275 cash. Yeah, or something.
Dang. Dang.
I still don't understand the money system, but
Me neither.
It's
I have
it's
$2.
weird. Like there's your spending level that you have per day. Then you have what's after that, like cash. That's like your fixed amount that you can draw upon if you want to buy or get anything that's above your spending level per day, which
I
is
like how
what
the
you draw
hobo
from.
magically gets more money each day.
It's
yeah, he finds it.
it's not.
That's how it
It's
works,
just
isn't it?
yeah, sure. I could try and defend and explain it all, but
No sense in that.
exactly.
Uh,
$30 worth of stuff.
All right, so
How much money do you get a day?
$2.
2. Not bad.
So-
And you get 50?
Yep.
I get 15.
so you now have access to the Hall of Records. Everything and anything that happened within this town, or most things anyway, are found here. Certain things.
Wait, so they're not going to just get the specific record. They're just like, have at
They
it,
let us
kids.
in and- Yeah, they're not gonna do that
Steal
for
whatever
us.
you want.
You're being watched, so they're not gonna let you like frolic and just tear things down and cause an absolute mess. You
Good
can
thing
if
I
you
have
want,
a
but this
high sleight of hand.
Oh boy.
you find like the death date of some
And
random
stealth.
dude. Okay. So
Well, I suppose I'll get right to it. Just start looking.
sure.
I assume
I guess this
that-
would be like a library use skill.
Library?
Yes,
What
library.
kinds of skills is
Technically
that called
speaking, this would be
library?
library use.
something like
Yeah.
Oh, I have that.
Oh, you're at the gym.
Ooh. Does not help. Does not matter.
No, it's okay.
What'd you roll?
One off. That sucks.
You guys.
You can use 1 luck, my guy.
Being without-
How much?
You
do
know
I have
what?
to-
I'm gonna do. That.
Okay, sweet. So be sure to mark that off. Okay, so
Okay,
you
so
succeed.
Do I subtract that from my luck?
Yeah. 1-for-1 ratio.
So right here from 85. Is that what I'm looking at?
Well, 85 is your baseline, isn't it? So
Right.
you need to like have a.
That's
You
why I'm
have
wondering.
missed
Where
some luck.
am I taking it from?
You should have your luck skill.
Yes.
All right. So you should now have in your journals handout 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
And Bryson, because weirdly, okay, so if you want, Bryson, you succeeded. Go ahead and read that for us if you'd like.
I went ahead and used 1 point for that.
Right.
All right. It says here, civil court records show that the executor of Walter Corbett's will was Reverend Michael Thomas, pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord, Granter of Secrets.
And you remember from the conversation you had with Mr. Knott that Corbett was actually the most recent owner of the house.
Yes.
I guess we should look for the Chapel of Contemplation records.
Unfortunately, this house being so old, there's not too much records, or at least in this specific place, about it. They wouldn't keep up something that doesn't really have too much interesting history.
It's a hall of
Nothing
records.
happens. Nothing happened with this house or about it. other than referencing the people that lived in it. So
Hmm.
Well, then can we find something about Walter Corbett or Reverend Michael Thomas?
Reverend Michael Thomas would most likely be a register of churches, which you could find in the Hall of Records. Bryce, since you've succeeded, um, I'll say that you know that you find a record that states the closure of the Chapel of Contemplation in 1912. It's a relatively old church that came through the town when like a spiritual movement swept across more of the like eastern states, but it ended kind of abruptly, but you're not sure why.
Ah, cold.
Does it say anything about what they worshipped?
Yeah. Uh,
It
so
does
I
not.
have
That's
heard of this, or have I heard of this chapel contemplation or Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets?
this is the first time you've heard of it.
Yes. Hmm. I've never heard of this church. Must be some strange niche religion. What about you two?
We have not.
No,
It was closed
it
in.
closed in 1912. It's 1920, so
10 years ago.
there are definitely people in this town who would remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been here that long.
Well, I don't know if that's really important. We do need to make sure we get to the.
Yeah, we do want to go to the house.
Yes. We'll keep that in mind.
Are there any records here on the previous owner of the house, like death records, things like that, at the owner of the estate?
In your
No,
time
not
searching, which took about 30 or so minutes, it was lucky enough to find the information that he did, hand out 6. That was as much information that you all could gather. Other than the reference of the name, Reverend Michael Thomas, and the name of some obscure religion that used to be in this town, there's not much else that you could find. There should be an idea stat in your character sheet. Go ahead and roll that for me. Give me an idea roll.
A what roll?
An
Where is
idea, which I
don't
think
remember
should
this
be
thing
an
now.
intelligence. Just give me. I think it's intelligence.
Hey, my best
Yeah.
stat.
So we just roll intelligence?
Yeah.
Hey.
I think your idea roll is intelligence.
Success.
I did not success.
Wow, my best stat is still worse than.
Oh,
Ouch.
Yeah,
I got
that's fine.
success, and Irvin got success.
I'm
Well,
you're
it's-
Irvin.
the exact. That's what they call me.
Well, showing
what
on here, what'd you get? What'd you get, Hayden?
57 out of 60.
Oh, there we go. It just loaded in. For some
Alright.
reason, it wasn't like loading in. Okay, so, wow, 2 of you guys succeeded. 70 just loaded in for me. That's
Can
great.
the stream VR rolls? Doesn't look like they can.
No, I had it cut out because the map's more important. But
That's fair.
for
Well,
for
yeah,
future,
we can
if you
read it off.
if you want to, we can.
We could potentially put like a box above
Yeah,
your
if
head.
you have
for
like
the
the
rolls.
3D dice option enabled, then you'll see them skitter across the screen.
I don't have that, but
There's a way to
You
do it in
could
the
enable it.
settings.
It's in the
Uh,
settings, in dice options. You
In the
can
gear,
click
dice
automatically.
options.
Maybe next time.
Sure.
what Skylar was saying. Of the
It's not like
top
we have
left
to
there.
read out the exact roll. We can just say whether it was a success.
Yeah, it was
or a
success.
failure.
But
sometimes
70
it's
is definitely really lucky.
cool.
I mean, if something extraordinary happens with our roll, then we can mention it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
what does that get us?
Okay, so you both succeeded on your intelligence rolls. So there's a type of roll called an idea, where if the players are stuck or need some sort of general inspiration where to go, an idea roll can be called for, or an idea roll can be made if you guys want. So if ever you guys are stuck or feeling like you're in a kind of a tight spot, let me know and we'll roll that.
Idea.
I don't know if we were stuck. I
Yeah.
think we were were just
Well,
kind of
this
like,
is
should we
also
go to the house
inspiration for your
now?"
characters.
That's fair.
So, just an idea that comes to your mind. An abrupt ending to some kind of religion probably means of some dismantling somehow. It wasn't slow enough to be generalized or put into this Hall of Records for any importance. So, if it was dismantled for any reason, it'd probably be more important or more severe, and it would probably be found elsewhere.
So you're saying it wasn't dismantled. It just kind of fizzled.
Maybe
It just
police
sort of
records
stopped. So that's what you
stopped
get out of your idea.
immediately.
Fair.
If it stopped very suddenly and didn't just die out, then yeah, police records. There might have been an event. And we have a date now, 1921. It's just we don't have a specific date. Do we get a
That
specific
was
date?
1912.
It was 1912.
1912.
1921 was last year.
Last year.
So last year, these guys just left town.
1912. So,
Yeah,
did
let's
we
go to
get
the police
any
station.
more specific dates than just 1912 on when the church was disbanded?
Not here at the Hall of Records. It's probably something else, somewhere else.
These are some terrible records.
Yeah, they're not the
For
best.
more general knowledge, you probably find out, like Mr. Knott
This is
suggested,
general knowledge.
It's essentially just like
probably at the
some,
library.
Like, medium-sized town. They
Library.
probably only have okay records. You know?
For less
they
important
still
information,
have-
would probably be at the library. More legal matters would probably be handled at the Hall of Records or police station.
Where
Well,
is the
Hall of
Not the
library?
hall, not the Hall of Records.
Any
General courts.
paperwork that you submit to the city gets put there.
Well, we were just at the general courts and they sent us this way, so we don't need. We probably shouldn't go back.
Well, that was house reasonings, but now we have.
Yeah.
Now we have a religion to look at.
Now we have a reason to be there. Lady, boom.
Do we have?
Okay.
Where is the library in the town?
Library would be down here.
Ah,
Down where?
Down here.
this pretty building right here.
It would take you about 20
20
minute
minutes.
walk.
Yeah, let's go on over.
And we could also split up into two different places as well.
Yes. Split up and look for clues.
One
Yeah.
person could go to
That
the
wouldn't be a
police
bad
station,
idea.
One
It
person
seemed
could
to
go
be
to the court's place, and
most-
one person could go to the.
I feel
If you
I'm
guys
more
would like.
at home in a public domain of information.
Perhaps. But being a journalist, you might be better set going to the police station.
I'm not an official journalist.
I don't
Better
know,
than both
a
of us.
hobo.
Guys, I have a persuade skill of 10. Okay, I can't talk to
Okay, yeah.
people.
We can head over to the police station. I got a good persuade.
Okay.
I can't talk to people. I could just write about them.
Now, where's the police station?
The police
I have
station is right here. You
as well.
I'll head
is right here. Okay, sweet. So right next door. So while you're at the police station, where is everyone else heading?
I'm gonna go to the library.
Sweet.
I guess
Go.
I'm going to the court thing.
You're going to the court thing. Okay, sweet. So multiple places. Okay, so let's do Irvin first. So let me find where this location is. All right. Let me tell you a joke. So this rich guy walks into a police station. All right.
You haven't finished telling it.
No, that was it. What's your credit rating score?
Me?
Yeah.
Should be pretty good. Let me
You
check
get
on
treated better based on your credit rating.
that.
Sadly,
Oh, no, that's a little bit true
Yep.
to life sometimes.
Where's-
Let me check. 55.
What's credit rating?
credit rating is like your financial stability. It's like a required of your occupation
It's
points.
the main thing that determines like how much money you're.
Yeah, your assets, your spending.
Where do you see it? 'Cause I
It's
It
in your
should be
skills.
Under art, craft. That doesn't seem right. Well, anyways.
Oh, yeah. I see it.
There it is. Yeah, it's right under
Oh.
climb.
What's your credit rating? Want to compare credit ratings?
Do you put points into it, like
Yeah,
on
that's
plan
the
creation? Yeah.
Wait, you haven't put
Uh,
anything into credit rating?
He never found out his money now, did he?
You might have screwed up there, because you're supposed to, depending
Yeah,
on your
go-
occupation,
Yeah.
have like a range.
Yeah, you're supposed to have like a minimum. I think for an investigative journalist, I think you have a minimum of
Journalist.
20.
Credit rating max is 30. Credit rating min is 9.
Dang, you
I'll
have it
have
up
9. I'll have 9.
9.
Yeah.
You don't want
Whoops.
9.
Oh,
Whoopsies.
geez,
You
dice.
don't want 9.
That was real bad. But why not though?
I'll tell you that.
What's yours?
I have a 2.
I'll go.
I am a hobo. 9 is only 7 higher
So-
than being a hobo.
Well,
I'll go 15. Hey,
truth doesn't pay.
you have a 2% chance of success. I have a 15%
Bribery pays, though.
chance of success.
Okay.
I'm not a fish. I'm literally just a photographer for a real estate company. Like,
All right. So
so these points have to come out of something else. I will
you
fix that.
enter the police station. You see the clerk. It's an officer sitting at a desk. He looks up. What can we do for you?
This is me, right? At the
Yeah,
police
this is
station.
you.
Yes, I'm looking for some information on this old Church of Our Lord Granter of Secrets. I don't really know anything about it, but it seems like it operated heavily in this town just a little over about a decade ago.
I could look at that for you. Sure. Our Lord Granter of Secrets. Give me a persuade roll.
This is
You-
why I
you-
didn't go to the.
Yeah, you understand that
Wait,
these.
do his
Yeah,
job?
yeah. You understand that these are legal documents. I mean, got any?
Ooh, boy, look at that!
Nice.
Whoa! Extreme success.
success.
He looks you over. Yeah, all right. Sounds good to me.
Well, was he just gonna withhold information? Like, is this guy worthy?
He would to a hobo.
I have listed if you had a credit score of 75 or more. Sorry, you just didn't cut it.
That's like
There are other things that you
rich.
could have done, but yeah. Okay, sweet. That's really good. Okay, so let me give you a handout as he stands up and walks behind the door. Let me get you him, sir. Of course, you just can't take him with you. You have to give him back after you're done. All right, show to players, and if you'd like to read this out, you can.
Yes.
Handout 7.
The file concerns a secret raid on the Chapel of Contemplation. The police raid was occasioned by affidavits swearing that members of the church were responsible for the disappearances of a number of individuals, mostly including children. During the raid, 3 policemen and 17 cult members were killed by gunplay or fire. Autopsy reports are singularly lacking detail and uninformative, as though the coroner had not actually performed examinations. In the aftermath of the fight, a total of 54 members were arrested and sent to the Boston Penitentiary. Despite this, 8 members are said to still be unaccounted for. The records hint of a legal intervention in the proceedings by an important local official offering stories of the battle. The biggest criminal action in the town's history that never appeared in print. Pastor Michael Thomas was arrested and sentenced to 40 years in prison on 5 counts of second-degree murder. He escaped from prison in 1917 and fled the state. Wow, that's interesting. Well, that's quite interesting. It's shocking. I haven't heard of this before.
Yeah, apparently they're all a bunch of psychos.
Well, I certainly got that much.
Well, not much of a
Is-
religious guy myself, so he
Well,
takes the records back. That's all we have on it.
that's it.
Yeah, just the church. Yeah,
Seems like a pretty big deal. You think there would be more on it?
right? I imagine the people over there at the snoops, whatever they're called, the reporters, journalists across the street might know something a little bit more. They like stories. Me, I'm just here just as a job. Don't really care too much.
Well, thank you. I guess I'll head on over there.
Ah, you're
There were
welcome.
journalists across the street.
Yeah, which you know as the where is it? The Lochholt Papers, place that you had tried to get into a couple times, but they're really stingy. There's not many of them. There's maybe 5 or so on a regular basis, and you know, and the guy who runs the place, you know, as Artie Wilmot, isn't exactly the nicest guy. So
I know this
Me.
guy.
no,
or-
this is Sky. So
well.
he would know this place, but you wouldn't. I don't think.
Right, but I think he's in the other building right now.
I'm
Right,
in a
yeah.
library. Yeah.
Which we're going to switch over to. So, you get to the library, the central library. It's a large building set by the public schoolhouse. It's square shaped, decorated with 2 lion statues out front, though despite that, it's less grandiose in appearance. Inside, it's open and well stocked, with books and aisles stacked high into the air. Mobile metal stairs are wheeled around to find something on taller shelves. In open areas, there are tables, chairs, couches, plants, with a librarian desk set between 2 staircases leading to a small second-story area. So you're here now. You open up the doors. You walk inside. There's some people. It's an afternoon. The school's not in session, but at the same time, there's not many people here at the library. So
Yeah.
other than the occasional worker.
With my occasional, I don't know, appearances at the library, would I know where they store old newspapers, or if they do?
Not newspapers, but they do have like let me see if I can find exactly what they have. The central library carries more of a generalized history. Nothing law based. Nothing like a lawsuit or anything that'd be stored in the hall, not the hall of records, but in the police station, or nothing based on just general history. I guess I'm a loss for words.
Mm-hmm.
So simple things that are noted around the town, but nothing. Not newspapers, I guess.
I'll look for any historical records that date 1912, between like 1908 to 1912, and if any have mention of that church, then I will look in more detail at them.
So you're looking for things specifically on the church or things on the house?
I feel like that's kind of like stuff in the fiction section.
There's like fiction, nonfiction, history, and then local history.
I'll check out the local history. If anything stands out about the house, I'll read it. But
Okay. Give me. And perusing this library will take about a half a day's work.
okay,
So give me a library use roll.
come on, baby. I'm gonna use a luck point, so I succeed. So I got 31 out of 30.
Sweet. All right. Luck point used.
Does using
How
a
do
luck
you?
point permanently like decrease our luck then, or
Yeah, so it's like use it wisely. However, at the end of every session, I think the luck point rules say like at the beginning of each session, but I think it's more of like a send off to roll to regain some. So to regain luck points at the end of each session, what we're gonna do is we're each gonna roll a d10. Then how much we roll is how much we gain back.
Can you increase over
I
what
think
you
you
had to
can,
start
yeah.
with? Okay.
So,
we gotta be
but
careful
you
about
you have to spend some to regain it. So I don't think Hayden's used any yet.
Hmm.
All right,
We both
so
use one.
you succeed. Let me get you some handouts. As you find in a section of just general town history, there is some law to it, but it has to do more with as you're pulling out records, some names stop you in your tracks. Oh, I've heard that name before. The name Corbett shows up in a passage or two. I'm going to show this to everyone. Sky, you can read handout 2.
Okay. In 1835, a prosperous merchant built the house, but immediately falls ill and sells it to a young couple named Martha and Walter Corbett.
If you would like, you can use another, because it's a library. There's tons of information here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like, you can spend, since there's only you there, you can spend another half day to find some more information if you'd like.
I might as well.
All right. So as we're getting to that, let's bamf over to Aiden, who is at the, not the Hall of Records, but the General Courts. So what are you looking for specifically here?
I want to go talk to that receptionist that we talked to earlier.
She looks at you, and she
Hi.
scowls, like seeing you.
Hey, my friends went somewhere else to look for more information on that house we were talking about, but it seemed like you had heard about it before. I was wondering if you could let me know anything about this place.
I mean, Sir, if you're asking me about the haunted house at the end of the street, I really don't have time for this.
Well, why do people think it's haunted?
Give me a. What's your appearance again?
60.
Okay. Give me a persuasion roll.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
Ah.
Your appearance is better than mine.
I don't we have a ton in persuasion.
He might be homeless. He might be disabled. But boy, does he have a good beard.
Or is he less awkward than me?
Oh. 68 versus 10, not good.
Yeah.
She.
What affects persuade?
What do you mean?
Like, how does it just be 10?
Well, I think it starts at like 10.
Ah.
Put points into it.
Well,
Yeah.
very well.
It depends on.
68 is what you rolled, and then 10 is like your skill attribute.
Yeah,
so-
I put a bunch into persuade because
Yeah.
it'll be come in handy.
Yeah.
Persuade the monster.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I see your point. I was in the wrong.
Guess I won't eat you.
Guess I won't eat you. Sweet. Well, you fail, unfortunately. Do you wish to push the roll or spend a whole bunch of luck?
Can I ask her about something else?
You can. She looks at you. Look, sir, I'm busy. If you want to talk, I'm new in this town, relatively. There's people here that have been here longer, like that one mailman. So he's been here a while. Yes.
Do you happen to have his name for me?
Well, everyone knows him. That's Mr. Dooley.
Everyone knows him. He's
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I have like a list of names. Yeah, it's Mr. Dooley. He works at the
Dooley.
local post office.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Have a good one.
You have a good day. And she
All right,
Bean's
now where's the post
typing.
office?
Why don't we have it, post office, be this lonely little house right there.
Which one?
Down here. Nothing too descript. It's
Down there.
oh my heavens. You know what? Let's have it be this. This looks different enough. Right here, right next to you.
Just move my marker to the.
Okay. Okay. Boom.
I can't see your little circles.
Look harder.
It is the
I'm
challenge.
colored.
Yeah, it is. Right. I forgot.
That's discrimination.
Red and
That's like
red and green circles.
that's like the one thing about you.
I can
All right.
see it on the gray.
There we
Okay.
go.
Okay, let's go find.
The local post
Mr.
office.
Dooley.
So it's the place right next
Is
to the
this the guy
cafe.
who gave me the letter?
It is.
Oh yeah, let's go find Dooley. You know, he's a veteran as well.
Sure.
Let's go talk to Dooley.
He, being an afternoon, is probably out doing his rounds. So, as you're out looking, give me a what's the Call of Cthulhu version of perception? Is it just perception?
Notice or something hidden, or I don't know.
Let's
Just
do.
perception.
There's a bunch. There's spot hidden.
There's so many. Why
There's
why does it feel like
Spot
this?
hidden? Can we do spot hidden?
Give me a luck roll, and if you make it, I'll give it to you.
10.
Whoa!
Wait, my luck is 60. What? Oh, there we go.
You got
No,
15,
success.
15
Yeah,
versus
yeah,
60. Yeah, that's
Hard
good.
success.
I was looking at my persuade roll and I was like, what? I
I'm not that
scrolled down.
unlucky.
Success.
All right. So, looking around town, it's in the afternoon, so people are either going to lunch or going about their daily activities, tasks, and things. Also, kids playing in the streets, ball. But you do catch a sight of him just coming back from delivering some mail to a house or something. You see his familiar blue uniform, one sleeve rolled up to his elbow. A sad injury from a war, also kind of old.
Let's go hobble over to him. Hey, Dooley. How you doing?
Oh, hello. What brings you about?
Hey, listen. A friend asked me to look into this house. I was wondering if you happen to know anything about it. It's an old house over on, he said 1207 West
Oh.
Broadbrook.
Yes, the Corbett place. Yeah.
My friends are saying it's haunted. Know anything about that?
I do have places to be. He nods his head. All right, fine. I don't know too much other than the Macarios, nice family, moved into the house a couple of years ago. Almost a year after moving in, the father had a serious accident and shortly thereafter went violently mad, I guess.
What were their names?
Corbett. What was their names? He spaces on it.
Like, went violently mad.
Something about him babbling on about a haunting form with burning eyes. I guess this is whatever happened here happened long before the Corbetts even moved into this house.
From what I heard, Corbett was part of. Well, he had his will handled by some guy from this strange church, some pastor Michael Thomas.
Are you referring to that old church up there? And he points way across the town towards an old hill where you can see just the faintest image of a broken steeple off in the horizon. Most of it's hidden by trees. Do you mean that old church? The people who used to reside there a little while ago? I don't honestly know too much about them.
Do you know how they were related to the Corbetts?
I'm afraid not. Of course, after he was taken into the sanitarium, a month after that, his wife also went mad. If you're looking to find where they are, you can find them at the Roxbury Sanitarium, a few miles from Boston. The
Corbins are
children,
still alive.
yes, old though, very old.
Huh.
The children, of course, were taken in by relatives who lived in Baltimore. I'm afraid that's all I know. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more help.
Well, y- you were you were more than enough help. But
Oh,
what was the specter that he was saying he was seeing?
uh, all I've heard are rumors very much. I just deliver the mail, but from how I hear it is a haunting form with burning eyes. Hated the aspect of religion, I believe I heard. But other than that, I don't really know. There's that old lady who wanders by every now and then. She might know more.
Oh, do you happen to know how I could find her or when she shows up?
I actually have no idea. I don't know where she lives here. It's odd, actually.
Do you happen to know around what time she ends up coming around the house?
Once or twice a month. He give me. Actually, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna do something interesting to see how much he knows.
He is a
Lord,
mailman.
he is a mailman indeed. Okay,
He's
so
a lot.
38. I believe she comes from towards Seathson's Lake, that area. There's a couple old buildings there that are ruined, and I believe she has a shack there. I've never visited myself. She doesn't have an address or a place for mail. She doesn't ever receive letters, at least none in her name. So people have only seen her. I just see her walking that directions in the mornings when I do my routes.
Huh. Well, could you give me a description of what she looks like so I can find her potentially?
A description.
Testing how well you
Short,
prepared, huh?
small, old woman covered in scarves, long coat.
Nice.
She looks like she's constantly. She mostly comes out during the rain now, come to think of it. It rained recently, as a matter of fact. He looks up into the sky, and it looks like it might be raining soon. So, I should actually. He lifts up his satchel with his one good arm. I should actually get to work on that. So, is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
No, thank you very much for your time, old friend.
Yes, of course. Hudson, was it?
Yes.
Ah, well, good to see you again, Mr. Hudson. And he turns and begins briskly walking off.
All right. Good stuff. I
And
guess
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I should probably go back and meet back up with the group.
All right, you guys are like right across the street from each other.
Well,
Well, wasn't
I'm
I
not gonna
going
be in the
somewhere?
police station.
Um,
I think I was going to another building.
I think you, I think you were heading towards the reporter place, right?
Yeah, the reporter place.
Lochholt Papers.
Yes, the paper,
All right.
wherever that was.
All right. Since Howard Hudson was on the streets looking for the mailman, and since their conversation was relatively quick, I'll say that you guys meet up or at least see each other in passing as you both finish with your collective duties.
All right.
Ah,
So, did you find
Howard,
out
is it?
anything? Yes.
yes. Well, it's actually very interesting. There was the worst crimes in the history of this town were perpetuated by members of this church. And there was at least, presumably, there was a big raid and some people died.
That's
But I can't really find. But it's such a big event. You think you would at least hear about it. Maybe there'd be a memorial somewhere. But I was just headed to the local reporter right now. See what's up with that.
Well, I was just talking with the postman, and he gave me the location of the old church.
Ah, It's still here. Well, I don't know where it would go.
Apparently, it's pretty broken down though.
Well, yeah.
But apparently, Corbett's still around.
Really?
Yeah, he's over in the sanitarium.
Well, might be worth talking to him.
He apparently went
Uh,
violently mad.
Well, maybe then it's not worth talking to him. He might not actually tell us anything about the house. But
Well, we
I'll
could
keep
get
that
some
in mind.
information.
Maybe. I do need to go to the reporters first.
All right, I'll come with you.
Right.
Oh,
All
also
right.
the old lady that our
The
boss
old
said
lady.
came around every once in a while. We have a potential place to look for her. She's over by this lake, and she apparently comes out usually when it rains.
Well, she
The
might
lady
know
of
a
the
lot
lake.
about the house.
All right, let's go to the reporter first, though.
That's right.
Sure thing. We'll do this, and then I think it's a good time to stop for a break. How about you guys?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, break now or after we hit the Lochholt papers?
Reporters.
I don't know. Right now, I think. We've
Yeah, I
been doing
think
Right now it could be good.
time for a
an
break.
hour, right?
All right, yeah, that sounds good.
Hour and a half. Yeah, have we been? Good time for a break.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, as you both begin to make your way across the street towards the Lochholt papers, which is actually just a couple minutes away, we will head to a break there. And Jeremiah Biggs is still sifting through papers and books. All right.
Yeah, wasn't he like taking a whole day?
Oh,
just
yeah,
to-
like a
Right,
whole
Yeah.
day on a
Our
couple things. So,
conversations were like brief, and his stuff is supposed to take all day.
Yeah.
all right.
Haha, the
Well,
hobo found the most information, I think.
I got a lot.
Hey, I got a handout. Okay.
True, I didn't get any handouts. I just got word of
The
mouth.
the numbering of the handouts, I'm like, there's so much more stuff that we can find.
Right.
And the video gamer in me is like, we got to get all of it.
We're never gonna be able to get all.
there
Well,
is
I'm
there is a
here, like-
completionist ending.
Would our characters even like go to this much effort before even looking at the house?
That's up to you.
Maybe.
Depends on how much shade's thrown on the house before we.
Well, we're trying to remove the rumors, right? We need to know what the rumors are.
Right. My character.
Need to know the lore.
It's gonna be like weird cult stuff. Or at least that's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
I really don't have that
Anyways.
much information yet. I just have.
All right, folks. Well, take 10 minutes to think on it. We're going to head to break. Don't forget to mute yourselves. And
All right.
we'll see you guys in a bit. So,
All right.
until then, have a good one. Alrighty.
All right, let's see.
How is everyone doing?
Well, so Peyton shows back.
Yeah.
Here?
He's still going. There he
There
is.
he goes. All right.
Almost
Alrighty.
took my laundry.
New world record for Peyton here. Showing up on time.
That is very impressive.
Wasn't
All
really
right.
behind, but
So we'll go for a little bit longer. So you both, I'm trying to memorize your characters' names. Irvin and not Jeremiah, Howard. I think I got that right. Are both making your way down the streets towards the Lochholt Papers. You come to a small single-story building. It's dwarfed by a couple buildings built into its left side. A tall vertical neon sign hangs above the door. While it's not on during the day, its large letters can be read. The Lochholt Papers, with the P at the end slightly crooked. Story headlines and posters cover the insides of the glass walls, showing off some of the more famous headlines they've covered. It's not. It feels like more trying to be the Boston Papers, which is definitely more well known than the Lochholt Papers for sure. So, you're unable to see inside. There's a lot of shelves and obviously papers covering the windows.
which building is this?
I will bring your character over here. This small building with a neat vertical neon sign.
Ah,
Actually, zoom in so people can see.
it's kind of weird that papers have a neon sign. Oh,
Who knows? I think it's cool. All right.
Sorry, did you say a neon sign?
yes.
You know, 1920s. Yeah.
I don't know if it checks out, but I think it's cool.
not.
I'm gonna look it up.
It 100% does not. Could you imagine?
When was neon lights invented? 1910. Yeah.
But like neon signs are different. They probably had like some.
It's 12 years after the fact. They might have done something with it.
Whatever. Yeah, and that.
You're right, though. It probably
came right to this
an
random-
out-of-place town in an out-of-place reporter's
1920s to
office.
The 1950s.
So, who knows?
In France, they were introduced
That's
in
when they were
1810.
popular. 1920s to 1950s. So he is.
It's possible. It is 100% possible.
I did my research, but you're right. The logistics here doesn't.
But a random like.
You're right. You're right.
not like
All
a
right.
casino or something.
No, just some out-of-place building in an out-of-place town called Lochholt. It's not even on the map.
That's the real Eldritch
They'll just, how'd you guys get neon lights? I want to know. Well, actually, we have a story on that.
Oh, anyway, so I guess just go in, right?
Sweet, yeah. Inside is very dusty and unkempt. Aisles crowd much of the main room with books and papers stacked way too high. To the far left of the room, slightly hidden, is a large printing machine. Across the room from you is a curved counter with a man sitting behind it. He looks busy tacking away at a typewriter. Behind him on the wall is a door that it's like one of those saloon doors. It's like halved, but on the floor. They're like open in the middle. The top half is opened and lit, revealing a stairwell down. Next to the doorway is a small plaque reading "The Morgue."
Why is the morgue in the newspaper place?
And as you both enter, the door makes a loud ringing sound as a little bell starts to rattle off your presence. The guy across the counter looks like he's holding a wet rag to his eye. Looks a little bit beat up, has a cut lip. Thin man it's also quite hot in here. If it wasn't hot outside, it's pretty hot in here. And he looks up at you with like messy brown hair. Seriously? He turns his head. Ruth, I thought you said you turned the sign around to be closed today. We're off. And then you hear another more distant voice say, I'm sorry. I thought I did. He looks up at you both. What do you guys want? You guys got a story for me?
Don't worry, this should be quick. I don't suppose you know anything about the the Chapel of Contemplation.
The Chapel of what now?
You know, or maybe just the Church of Our Lord Grant Our Secrets. Apparently, there was a big police raid on them a while back.
Anything about Michael Thomas?
Michael Thomas.
I mean,
I
how long
don't.
have you been working here?
Well, a lot of our records kind of suffered a. Well, this place went up in flames a little while ago. We're kind of missing a lot of records. So, nothing that I remember. You guys aren't trying to get me to join some weird cult, are ya?
No,
No.
of course not.
Have you heard of Corbett? The Corbett House.
Corbett? Yeah, I've heard of the Corbett House, yeah. I actually tried to do a paper on it recently before I got shooed away.
Shoot away. Who shooed you away?
Well, yeah, the police tell us not to go by that place.
Well, we definitely have to. The place has a new owner, and they're supposed to inspect it.
Uh-huh. Okay, sure. Give me
What
a...
happened to,
Like I said, I got too nosy and a cop comes by and punches me in the face for getting too close to the house. So,
could be a problem for
That
us.
was recently.
it was recently.
Well, was it newsworthy recently?
I just heard someone was poking around the place and went missing. Oh, that's all I know.
Do you know who it was that went missing?
Gray, Richard Gray. He actually lived in the apartments across town. His place was like ransacked almost after it happened. Everyone noticed that there was some kind of pungent smell coming from his room, but his body was nowhere to be found. And of course, when I went poking around the place to... Wait, why am I telling you guys? What do you guys want?
Well, we're looking into the house.
Yeah, well, we're closed. Get out of here. Shoo. Obviously, I'm not in the mood to talk. Ouch.
Look,
No,
look, look.
stay.
You already have us.
You met an
Might as well
immovable
just
object.
Tell us what we need to know, right?
Give me... Well, let's see. You're with Howard Hudson. Give me a persuasion check.
Me?
Yeah.
I knew I chose the right skills. Yeah.
So you're talking forever.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna
Nice.
look around and see if there's any like information on Gray on the desk or anywhere. Can I do that?
Yeah, sure. Give me a spot hidden. And
Alright.
while you're talking with them, your persuasion obviously checks out.
I'll say something like, "Look, you gotta tell them
Nice.
no, or my buddy here is gonna punch your other eye."
He looks at you. Right.
That sounds like intimidate. to
Yeah,
me.
it does sound like intimidation.
Extreme persuasion.
Can I
Extreme persuasion.
Can I take that little bit of information on the desk?
Um,
Or what do I find? I did
What-
the spot hidden. And I
what were
How
you
are
asking
y'all-
for
how are
again?
y'all better than me and everything?
hard success for spot hidden. For
Spot
finding
hidden.
information on Gray, like just hidden around.
22 out of 75.
All right. Since you succeeded on spot hidden, you see something along the papers that he seems to be tacking down with the paper. Give me, or the typewriter. Give me a luck roll now. So I'll get to that in a second. So Irvin, what was that? What'd you
Back to
roll?
Irvin. 66.
66. Do you want to use luck?
Luck for a luck roll?
Oh, I guess you can't, huh? You can.
Yeah.
No, never mind. You can't push luck rolls. Okay. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Okay. So, Irvin, as you're talking to him, he's holding a rag up to his eye, and as he pulls it away, there are some like sticky, like a little blood mess. Yeah, whatever. I guess it's whatever. Look, if you want to poke around that place and get yourself hurt, be my guest. I'm done. But yeah, the place, the guy went missing a couple weeks ago. His neighbors said there was some kind of putrid smell. Cops investigated, and of course, where the cops are, we are. There's a story about. So I went and had tried my luck after the police left. Look, don't tell anyone this, okay? I did sort of break in. It wasn't breaking in. The door was unlocked. Sort of. I unlocked it. But anyway, so I went in and looked around for clues. And the guy was nowhere to be seen. His walls and everything was torn apart, torn down. Uh, I didn't know the guy kept a pet bird. There was feathers all over the place. Well, he mentioned the house that you guys are asking about. Said he was going to visit that place next. Said he was on about some kind of hunch from the journals and papers that the cops didn't confiscate. So that's all I know, is that he was working on some kind of story, a theory, a hunch or something like that. And then the guy goes up missing. I don't know if he went missing at the house or if he went missing at or his apartment. I don't really know. That's why I went to the house and checked. But the cops were there first, and well, they told me I shouldn't stop. I should stop snooping around, and that's how I got this bad boy. And as for you, Hudson, you notice you do notice the name Gray on one of the pieces of paper. It seems to have to do with a story that he was working on, though he didn't get to finish it. And
Wait, he mentioned a journal. Can I ask him if he has it?
Sure. As you were looking at the paper, he notices you looking at the papers and he brushes it aside. Confidential. So you want to ask him about the journal?
Yeah.
All right. What do you say?
Gray you said you found journals at Gray's house. Do you happen to still have those?
I don't. They were confiscated.
You didn't.
Otherwise, I'd definitely use them as like a gold mine for my story. The guy just goes up missing. No one goes missing here in Lochholt. Well, I guess they did technically.
Also, you should worry about your eye. It might get infected. Can I use?
I know. Yeah.
My possession. I have medical alcohol.
Medical.
He looks you over.
Alcohol,
You
half a gallon medical.
have medical alcohol. Are you
Yeah.
sure that's not for
Alcohol
recreational
without-
purposes?
I thought, well, you can make it for recreational purposes. They haven't added the.
That's how you know
Oh,
you have
so
a
you
problem.
use it for medicine recreationally.
So I'll just put some. Do you want some for your rag?
Give me a persuasion roll. Hard success. You'll need a hard success to beat it.
Hard success.
Yep.
I'm just gonna put some alcohol on his rag. But
You might spill.
it doesn't,
Dump it. You might
Just
drink
dump it on him.
You know? That's like,
just so
Whoops.
it doesn't get infected. I'm being nice to the guy. Okay.
Oof.
Why do I have to persuade him for me to be nice?
You're still barging on him after hours. You try to peek a look at one of his papers, and honestly, you're a dirty hobo in his area.
I am the best looking.
Yes, you are.
are you on
Yeah.
appearance?
Well-
What about my appearance?
Yeah. What is your?
I got 30. So
You have a 30?
30 on appearance. Yes.
Dang.
Look, for you guys at home, if you're
I have
making a Call of
50.
Cthulhu character, don't ever make them above the age of 30. Ever. You're gonna like tank in appearance and any other physical stat.
Nah,
All right. Well,
At least we round each
it's
other
hard
out.
mode.
yeah.
Different, okay?
Together, you guys
No
make a
heat,
perfect
no
team.
handicap.
Honestly, I've got the strength. Eh,
I have the strength.
So where did he put those papers?
He just like slid them in a drawer underneath his desk. And as you're offering his alcohol, he's like, "I think I'll be fine.
Suit yourself.
I
can
will.
offer
Thank you."
Aspirin. I have some
Take a
of that.
swig of it.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to know? You asked about the something.
Yes, there was a big police raid some time ago. Would have been like 1912. church?
I don't think we have anything on any churches, but
Nothing at
if you
all.
want,
Nobody even like tried to investigate that.
if we do, it'd probably be down in the morgue. The morgue is where we keep all our old, you know,
Morgue.
old newspapers, old
That is-
stories, unfinished stories, unpublished stories, things that we don't need anymore. We call it the morgue. It's sort of like a little joke. I guess Ruth! And he calls down the stairs, and you hear a distant voice. Yeah? I need you to take these guys down. They're looking for some kind of paper on a religion, something about a house. I mean, I don't know much about a religion or homes, but we have plenty of stories. Just take them down there and let them poke around, and then shoo these guys out. And please, for heaven's sakes, turn the sign around. What am I paying you for?
Hey, Irvin, could you get him to try and follow us? Say he'll help him with his case or something.
Hey buddy.
Huh?
Well, why don't you come with us? You know, it might help with your
Just down to the
case
morgue.
you're trying to make. You know.
You want me? No. I'm way too busy. Look, I got paperwork. I have other stories to do. Look, if you guys find something out, you guys can come to me and maybe we'll type it up. We don't just let anyone come in here with a story and just expect themselves on the front page. We gotta have hard evidence. Gotta have something concrete for us to even go on. Okay?
Right. How do you do that without going out and getting concrete evidence?
Look, I run this place. You guys find the story. You guys find the story. You guys come back to me. I'll write it up. Okay?
I just meant to like get him to go down to the morgue.
I'm not going down the morgue with you. That's final. Ruth! And where's the description on Ruth Blake? All right, you see, heading up the stairs, you hear the clip clop of heels. You see a thin woman, white blouse with a long, with a white blouse, a long black shirt, and a half moon glasses set on her nose, wavy blonde hair that bounces with each of her steps, and she pokes her head into the room. Mr. Wilmot? Yeah, can you show these guys around the morgue, please, and have them leave promptly? She nods, and then she waves her hand. All right, come on down. She leads you down the morgue. Inside said morgue is I just lost it again. There it is. Okay, so down in the basement, which is where the morgue is, it feels just as hot down here as it does outside. The walls are surrounded in metal file cabinets. Sorry, I choked on a peanut. With papers and boxes placed above them. A large, burly man lies on his back, working on a boiler in the far corner of the room. And she looks at each of the file cabinets, and each of them are listed by date. I'm sorry, we don't have many. After we suffered a fire a while back, something happened with the boiler, and we lost a lot of our records.
Oh, that's all right. Just try to find what you can.
All right, well, I'm looking for my own things, but y'all can look around to see what you like, see what you can find, poke around our old stories. We might have what you're looking for.
All right. Well,
Before you go, do you happen to know if the newspaper ran any stories about the Corbett house?
I think so. I think we did a little while back. That'd be in the 1917 through 18 section, I believe.
All right.
I wasn't here around that time, but that does sound familiar.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Let me know if y'all need anything. And she goes back to her own business. The dude on the ground is just like tinkering away. He leans back. He leans over, wipes his eyebrow, just smearing all this soot and dust on his face, and looks at you both. Huh. And goes back to working.
Well, you want to start looking through the 1917 and 18, and I'll go talk to that guy?
Yeah, look.
Actually, you're better at persuasion. Maybe you
Yes,
should
I am
talk
good.
to that guy.
I think I have good library uh, skill. Library use.
He's got all the
You're
skills.
just more useful in this situation.
Yeah, I'll go talk to the guy. The burly guy? What do I need to
Yeah.
talk to him for?
This place burned down, right? What happened?
Yeah. Yeah, what?
Especially with
Well, he
the
just said it was the boiler thing.
exactly. He's working on the boiler. He could tell you whether or not maybe
I don't know
someone
anything
messed with
about
the boiler,
boilers.
but he does.
I'll go
Maybe
talk to him.
someone messed with the boiler.
The boiler.
The police
He
are
said
doing
this
a
place
lot of
burned
sketchy
down.
things.
As I'm
But
talking to
why?
the guy.
Why did it burn down? All right, he went to talk to the guy.
All right. While you guys are doing that, we haven't done much with Mr. Biggs in a little while, so I'm gonna have you make another library use roll, please.
Okay, we'll see how well I roll.
Must be a lot of information in that library.
I'm gonna use 6 more of my luck points.
All right.
Whoops, I didn't mean to roll my luck.
Oh no!
What a waste.
So 6 more. Okay, so you're 30. You succeed, and you get another. I had a little mix-up on the names, so Corbett is actually someone else,
Oh,
which I should have
Hey,
mentioned
guy.
before.
Is it actually someone else?
His yeah, in handout 6, the name Corbett should have actually been Macario. Corbett was just the most recent person to live there, as said by Mr. Na. I got the names mixed up. And
okay,
I
so
changed
Macario's the one
out the
have.
names in your handout, so everything should be changed.
Is that right?
Yes. So that's on me.
We
So
have to figure out who Walter Macario is.
Then who was Corbett?
The
Well, they-
recent-
Most
Walter
recent
Mario?
tenant
So-
is
found it
Corbett.
kinda weird that he
Corbett's-
was, like, being haunted when he was supposed
right,
to
yeah.
be
So Corbett's the Corbetts were the people who lived there most recently. Those are the people that are in the
Thanks a lot.
sanitarium because things happen. The guy's name is Macario, Walter Macario, and in handout 6, I just got the names mixed up. That's my bad.
I see.
So Macario, Corbett, Macario.
But
Makes
Corbett,
sense.
Macario is deceased.
Yes, Macario is deceased.
Okay.
Right.
find
It wouldn't
that
have.
The last owner, and then the Corbett guy is the crazy one now.
Yes.
How did we end up finding handout 6? Was it because we knew Corbett's name, or was it because it was connected to the house?
Let me look. You guys were in the Hall of Records, and you guys found handout 6 there. Also, Sky, I just shared with you handout 3. If you would like, go ahead and read it.
I can. In 1852, Walter Macario is sued by neighbors who believe he murdered his now missing wife, Martha Ann Macario. Police investigation ruled no evidence of foul play, and nothing came of it. A petition was later made to force him to leave the area, in consequence of his serious habits and auspicious demeanor.
Alrighty.
An upstanding citizen like Walter Macario? No way.
Alrighty. So, by the time that you're done, it's about night. You've been in this library searching up and down rows, up and down these metal pushy stairs, and now it's nighttime. Yeah, time goes faster when you're having fun. So we're gonna rewind time just a little bit and go back to these other fellows. So, what were you guys doing again? So, Bryce, Irvin Patterson, you were talking to the guy upstairs, and
Needed to talk to
or who
Boiler
were
Man.
Boiler Man.
Yes.
Good old Boiler Man. I have his
What's his
description.
name?
Wallace.
Ah.
I only named the more important NPCs, okay? So drenched in sweat is a burly, bald man with a big, dirty black mustache. Lying beside him is a heavy box of tools. So you hear the clicking of his tool, and he looks over at you, just seeing you standing and staring at him. Can I help you?
You know anything about a fire here a while back?
What a good start.
Just start at the beginning.
Is you trying to say something? No, yeah, I heard there was a fire that happened a little while back, but that was before I came here.
No? Huh.
Yeah, the old owners of this place left Lochholt back to Boston to work. Well, look, let's be honest. Between you and me, Lochholt Papers is kind of a joke. He says it in like a whisper, just so Ruth doesn't hear. Anyway, yeah, the place went up in flames a little while back, destroyed a lot of their records, and they had to renovate the building. Got a cool new sign, too.
We got the lore behind the sign.
You guys are waiting for it!
Planned.
Because their building burned down, they got a new sign.
Planned.
I'm glad that this is the most interesting bit of lore you guys have discovered thus far.
The sign.
And I'm only really working on it because it's broken and things are getting freaking hot in here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You don't really have, so you have no idea how this could have happened. I mean,
No idea. I mean, this thing ruptures and fire can start. Though this one is newer than the ones that used to be in these older buildings. This one was imported about a year ago. Not exactly sure how the last one exploded. I hear malfunctions are pretty common if you have an older model.
fair enough.
Is there anything I can help you with, or can I get back to...
Yeah, you can get back to it.
He nods and then gets back to working. All right. Howard Hudson, please make me a library use or your choice of library use or spot hidden.
Oh, spot hidden. All the way.
Alrighty. Give me a roll. I think your camera's frozen, by the way. I just noticed. I think so, or at least on the stream, which is where I'm looking.
Is mine frozen on the stream? No.
No, yours is fine.
How did mine?
Because you're not frozen on mine, on like the thingy. Weird.
Weird. Maybe it's just. I don't know. I just looked over and.
It's like,
Your technology and Ray's technology is just not compatible.
I know. That's the real mystery here. Anyway, you're.
a few minutes.
Oh, it kind of moved.
Oh. All right. Well, your spot hidden is a success. So I'm going to give you a thing. A thing. Don't you worry. I have like this big list of like things that are linked to other things that bounces me around. Okay, so handout 1.
Oh,
Muy bueno.
Ooh.
the first handout.
The first. You guys found the first handout.
Tells you to go to the
on.
library.
I forgot to edit the
Are
name.
you talking, Hayden?
Hello. How are you?
I don't know. There's something funky with the stream
The stream looks good on my end.
sound. Well, I mean the
Oh,
audio.
I see. All right. Well, in any case, you get
Arkansas,
Arkansas, good old Arkansas.
and you guys are in Idaho.
Well,
Actually,
Bryson's
no,
in New Jersey.
All right. Well, in any case, I showed you guys handout 1.
I can barely hear.
barely
At least
hear
on the
me.
stream, I can barely hear myself and Hayden.
Say something, Hayden.
No, I'm saying something right now.
All right.
You can hear me just play them?
Unpublished story. Lochholt Papers.
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
1918.
All the bars are showing up as everything should on my end.
Sounds like I'm just being heard on someone else's.
Hmm.
Like really distant. I don't know.
Interesting.
Someone else check on that for me.
not mine.
I mean, everything is showing up normal here.
Well, I mean the audio, because the video's fine.
Right, audio is fine here. That's weird.
Well, I mean for me and Hayden. Can you hear what I'm saying on this?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Kind of quiet.
And your bars are coming up just fine. I think that might be on your end if you need to turn your stuff up.
It's really quiet.
Oh, it's weird. I can hear myself on your end. All right.
Is that right?
Well, we are almost done for session 1. But before we end tonight's session, Hayden, would you like to read handout 1?
Handout 1, a
Yes.
feature story which was never published. It states that in 1880, a family of French immigrants moved into the house but fled after a series of violent accidents, left the parents dead and 3 children crippled. The house long stood vacant in 1909. Another family moved in and immediately fell prey to illness. In 1914, the oldest brother went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife, and the heartbroken family moved out in 1918. A third family, the Macarios, rented the house, but they left almost immediately under mysterious circumstances. Who did they rent it from? Almost immediately. Interesting.
Alrighty.
1918 paper. So the house has always been. It doesn't say how they are crippled, the children. So maybe the French immigrants were the ones who caused the hauntings, or maybe it was just haunted before.
Maybe.
I prefer to blame the French.
Uh-oh. We're going to get taken down now. All right.
Nobody likes the French anyway.
Yes, de France. Vive la France. Alrighty, well. Alrighty. Well, with that bit of information, I think this is a good spot to end this first session.
I think so.
Cool.
Woo! We did it. Our first session done and over with. The plot thickens. A lot of lore, especially the sign and the mysteries behind Lochholt and what happened here are being slowly unveiled. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. And I think we'll be doing this on Fridays, right? Some usual time?
Yeah,
Or...
do the same time again.
So it's
Sweet.
gonna be weekly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we can discuss it more in the Discord.
Sure,
Yeah. We're just making sure.
Alrighty. And we'll try and fix up any stream issues. But until then, y'all have a good one, folks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.